All right, and we're back here on Couch Coach Live, another Tuesday night under lights here on Couch Coach Live. What's going on, Maui?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, just trying to get this new sound, not soundboard, more like a mixing board. So trying to work out the kinks of that. So yeah, everything's good, man. Just trying to coast through tomorrow and get ready for the holiday. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
same here. Same here.
Yeah. Yep. Just try to coast through tomorrow and full speed ahead.
Yeah, this your time of the year. Mine too, but you usually make
Yeah.
me excited about it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love the holidays. I think especially like Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is probably like arguably like one of my favorite as far as celebrate the holidays. Like we got like Christmas and this and third, but Thanksgiving
Mhm.
is always the best because obviously, it's simple. You just hanging out
Right.
with your family, you eat and you watching football, and now the weekend, obviously Black Friday, you just really just chill. Pretty much that's a day where nobody really does nothing. I usually be in my pajamas all day. So, it's kind of one of those type of situations. So I probably don't
Right.
get back into civilization until probably Saturday or so, So I love it.
hmm
Yeah, it's one of my favorite times of the year for sure. You're right about that.
hmm
Yo,
You make me
yo.
you get me hyped up about it. You do, man. I be like,
I mean,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you know.
man. Like, yeah, it's always a great time. That's one thing too. It just being around your family, being around the people that you love, friends and family. It's an opportunity because most of us, how everybody's schedules
Yeah.
all over the place, and this is
hmm
a one time where we all, for the most part, are off. So it's kind of one of those things where hey, let's just all kind of come together and and just celebrate. And that's one thing I kind of take of it. Like people say like Christmas and all type of stuff, and like oh, it's about gifts, but really to a point now, and a lot of people talk about like the connotation behind it because of the materialism and all that. But no, you just opportunities for families. For like for my case, everybody come together. We're typically off on the holidays. This is our time to congregate and be around each other
hmm
because it's very rare during the course of the year for us to always come together. There's something going on. Like this week, we're supposed to do something this week, but
hmm
I had some plans the weekend. I had a couple of my uncles had some plans this weekend. Aunt had
hmm
one of my aunts had a birthday, so and all that. So there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff was going on this week. So it's just kind of like you said. Now Thursday is the time where we all kind of come together and do our thing. So yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah. So tomorrow, hey, let's get through tomorrow, and hey, we full speed ahead.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. So we got a great show lined up tonight, episode 373. We'll talk about Shedeur Sanders' first start. So now we'll give him we'll give him a grade. So we'll talk about that. Uh News that shouldn't shock anybody. I definitely, if Chip Kelly being fired from the Raiders, we'll talk about that. Chris Paul officially announced his retirement, and then we'll have a fun segment, and we've done this. I think back in our legacy internet radio days, where we did
Yeah.
we did a segment where we had three athletes that we would invite to Thanksgiving, either
Right.
dead or alive. So we'll also talk about that, and then round out with our game ball and final thoughts. So let's talk about probably the most anticipated. I know when we came on to the show last week, we discussed um Shedeur Sanders as far as him making his debut NFL
hmm
wise, and obviously we talked about the pretty much him playing pretty much the second half against the Ravens in an injury, when Dylan Gabriel sustained a concussion. But now, fast forward, we knew going into last week's show that he was going to be the starter for the Raiders game. Um, the Browns did win that game. Shedeur went 11 for 20, 209 yards, one touchdown, and one interception. He is the first quarterback to win his first start playing for the Cleveland Browns since 1995. This is when
hmm
the current Baltimore Ravens was the Cleveland Browns. So
Yeah.
they came back in 1999. No quarterback has ever won their first start as a Cleveland Brown starter. Craziness. So, we do. First of all, your overall thoughts on his performance, and then give him a grade of what you a grade of his performance.
Um, I think it was great for him. I think it was great. I think everybody was fighting for him. You got the same frequency and vibration you had when you watched Carolina, and I think deep down, even the people that was the naysayers wanted to see him do well. You know what I mean? And I think he capitalized. He was entertainment. It's like a roller coaster. Go up and you go down. Um, just like when the interception, you had big plays. You know, and to see like with all the negativity everyone was saying, like it just see everybody really work together for the win. Um, it was I watched the game and I was excited, and then of course made it more excited to have Dion and other guys there. But I think he did everything that he was supposed to do. Like you have some guys that work within the system and they call them game managers, and I think he did that well. I think um and then to take control and make big plays. But I think when you have a player like a Shedeur, whose last name is Sanders, there is going to be expectations there. So like when Judy caught the pass and he fumbled it, you know, from playing around, and the whole thing, it has to be some type of lack of maturity has to come, because when you have a player like this and you playing a guy on defense that's getting paid, and he has these expectations, and you know Shedeur has that for himself, then you're going to have to elevate. You know what I mean? You're really going to have to elevate your game, and like you can't have those type of mistakes. You know what I mean? If this was Colorado Buffaloes, I wouldn't even. I was like, they're young, but you know, you really his big homie. You're his mentor. You're his vet. You know what I mean? So why would you even do that? But you say, man, I was excited. I really liked the fact that they did the uh at the goal line, they did the wildcat. And
Okay.
to me, by them doing that, they was I think some people think that like, they wasn't trusting Shedeur, but I think it was more we want to make sure we get this win, but we also want to get Shedeur out there to do Shedeur things, since he's actually been getting reps with the first team. And you understand what I'm saying? Like I really was
Yeah.
like, okay, to me, that's what a head coach is supposed to do. Like you should throw him in the woods, but at the same time, you also protect him so he can get the win. And if I had to give him a grade, I gave him a B minus. Um, because a C plus B minus. The only reason I'm doing that is because of the interception that he had. You know, and you could tell those was nerves, and you know when he's usually can contain himself.
Yeah. I would do a fair assessment with him. I'm gonna give him a C.
Okay.
There was a lot of good and bad
Hmm.
for Shedeur, which is understandably so. And even to his point, he said, "Just imagine once I get an off season, it's gonna be
Right.
dangerous because just
Yeah.
imagine what he's done in just as consent in condensed time. I mean, because really this is his first full week with the starters,
Hmm.
as far as getting the snaps.
Right.
Um, obviously, it was a few. I do love the connection that he had, obviously, with the rookies.
Right.
Isaiah Bond, that one that dart in the first quarter, essentially that put him in the red zone. In that one, so I definitely like that. That was interesting though because he was under duress. I do like the fact that now and that's another thing too. He's gonna improve. I know a lot of people look at he holds the ball a lot. He still holds on to it, but he's got a quicker release.
Right.
I start seeing some improvements because I start kind of like, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, one to make,
Right.
doing the counts, and he's getting the ball out quicker, and that's gonna come with time and more familiarity with the offense. So that's like you
Hmm.
said, like he said it himself, I think, and so I looked at that. The whole throwing the pick and double coverage almost kind of third because another guy was dropping back, so it was like
Hmm.
that's just something that's gonna be a part of his growth. Like it's
Right.
to me, yes, it's crazy play, but I mean his first NFL start. Now he
Yeah.
did this, 3, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. then it'd be something a little bit more critical. But
Mm-hmm.
I get it. That's another one where he did a quick release. Thought the guy was there, but then pretty much that dude was swarm like bees on honey because you had two guys
Right.
right then, and a third was coming. So I give him that. So and like you said, the Jerry Judy play, that's another one where he had an opportunity. But why would you skip? I don't understand that play because he threw it to him, and I mean he had a clear runaway. I mean he literally could have went to Cleveland for that touchdown, and then he just like started skipping. I'm like, oh, I've never seen Jerry Judy ever do that in his life. I know, and that's what I say. He from the Nick Saban tree, so Nick Saban don't tolerate that type of stuff. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's just uncharacteristic. He's a product of Nick Saban. Ain't no way in hell he would do that, like on the Nick Saban watch. So it's kind of odd. That play is kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at it from that standpoint. Like I said, that screenplay, another connection with the rookie, Dylan Sampson.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing I hate how these people are talking. Like, well, it's a screen pass, but 6 yards later, it's a touchdown.
And
So it's
and you
just
got to do it right.
right. And that's the thing, man. He did well. Like that's sort of like the whole like the critiques of it just blows my mind. But
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, man. A C. I give him a great. I give him a C.
Yeah, I'm not mad
Sure.
at that. And I'm telling you, man, where I got from it was, even if people were being negative, because it's all entertainment and narrative, you can't have one without the other. It seemed like when him winning, and everybody just was like, finally, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Either he was gonna lose, you know what I mean? And I just think, like you just said, 1995. And that
Yep.
was the old Browns. I think this is one of the first times you could say this new Browns can be really be a problem. And they've been literally fighting for a quarterback,
Yep.
even though they had Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? They've been fighting for a quarterback for a minute, even Deshaun Watson, but it was just something there, and they actually got a chance right now. And I was thinking today because I knew we were going to talk about it. I'm gonna give a shout out to Stefanski. Some people probably don't want to, but I think sometimes, it comes off like bad chemistry, but that chemistry, from what I see, it could be built. It could be something special. It's just that it's kind of like Larry Brown and Allen Iverson, where it seemed like they was bumping heads at first, but then in the end, some great chemistry came from it. I think the same thing can happen with Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. And I think, in my personal opinion, with it's kind of one of those, in my opinion, that um he kind of revitalized the team. And you can even tell on the sideline. You
Hmm.
look at guys like Miles Garrett. You definitely seen
Hmm.
how excited he was, and it's just one of those things where you look at it and you're like, it's too late to turn the tide. But it's kind of one of the things where it's good for him going forward in 2026. Even if this Cleveland situation don't work out for him, somebody gonna be calling for
Can I ask you a
him.
question?
And yeah,
I'm sorry. How do you think that how is their offensive line to you?
it,
Like, what would you grade
uh,
them?
no line, I'll probably give them maybe like a C. I'm almost average. It's just him. Obviously, this isn't the same team. Like obviously with the Joe Thomas booking and
Hmm.
all that third. I mean, they did the best they can, in my personal opinion. But
Okay.
it's not the best offensive line. It's not nothing to write home about. But I mean, I think they did just enough to get him through. And obviously, they do a great job as far as from a run block perspective. Obviously, you look at like
Right.
with Junkins, he balled out in that game. That's another thing that kind of helped too. You get that running game in Junkins, and
Hmm.
then with Shedeur. So it's kind of one of those where it's almost like, dang, they really could have pulled the trigger on this early. And I know people saying, well, it's against the Raiders, but it is what it is.
Right. And another thing, the defense was working them Raiders. And that sometimes if the defense uh can everything is like momentum too. So if the defense is locking down, then definitely the offense can pull something out. But what I was saying about the O line is, and you can put your 2 cents in it. I would love you for you too. Like this is probably this is Shedeur's probably best line he ever had.
Oh,
You
oh
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah, I was like thinking about
oh yeah.
myself.
Compared
This
to
is probably the
Colorado.
best offensive line he ever had. So I'm thinking like, man, he probably thinking I could do a lot. You know what I mean? Especially when I got
Hmm.
some people somewhat protecting me.
Oh yeah. It's like you said. Yeah, I keep forgetting about the Colorado days. Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, line is good, but it's
Could be
NFL
better.
standard. It's about average, but
Yeah,
like you said, compared to Colorado, oh yeah, it's like a world of difference.
right.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I'm
Absolutely.
happy that I'm just happy that it's gonna happen and that we can move forward because that stuff is getting a little too exhausting, you know?
Exactly. And it's got to a point where, like you said, everybody just kept on like speculation, like when he's gonna start this and the third. Now we hear, we know he's at least gonna be starting against San Francisco, and hopefully that obviously going into December he should be the starter. But because and it's also a good sign because Dylan Gabriel was cleared from the concussion protocol, um, so that just lets me know like Shedeur should at least get a few more starts on his belt, unless anything catastrophic happens. But for the
Hmm.
most part, um, he'll he'll grab the reins for the final 6 games of the season. So
All right.
we shall see. But yeah, but like everything worked out. That's one thing about it. Everything works out for a reason. That's one thing.
Hmm.
Like people, you know, being able to have a start in Las Vegas, so his family be able to come and see him play. So that's one thing too,
Hmm.
where everything works out. Everything works out. That's why like some people, people's panicking about it. This and third, like oh, he's never gonna see the field. Oh, he was gonna see the field. It
Yeah.
was only gonna be a matter of time.
Yeah.
And pun intended, it actually was perfect timing, essentially for him to you know have a game like the Raiders where and competition could be a lot tougher, especially this week. Obviously, with San Francisco on the docket this week, so yeah, why not get a start against the Raiders? See
I
what
really like this that I saw him and Deshaun Watson working together. Like it just was all positive.
Mhm.
Even to bring the team together, like Deshaun Watson sitting there helping him out, him talking to it's just a lot of things that you really didn't see. You didn't see him and him and the head coach communicating. It's just I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for all of them and Miles Garrett.
Oh yeah, because and that's one thing he about to break that sack record because he got like I think he
Hmm.
got like 18 sacks and he got 6 games left. I'm like he's really good. Like, I think the record is what 22 and a half. Yeah, he's gonna obliterate. He had 3 sacks in this game. Like so,
Yeah,
just man, he gonna break that mid December.
they had 10 sacks. Oh, probably
Mhm.
more than 10 in
I think
that
it was
game.
10. It was 10 altogether. Yeah, but
Oh my
he
God.
had 3 of 'em. And I'm telling you, he gonna break that record December 14th, probably. And at his pace, if he get another 3, he
Yeah.
might get it the first week of December.
Yeah, I think he gonna
'Cause
get it. I mean, we know he
yeah, oh,
gonna
for
get it.
sure. Oh yeah. I mean, barring the injury and anything, but yeah. Because I mean, shoot, he had 5. What was it? He had what 5 sacks one game this year, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, we should have drafted, we should have traded for him. I look at it like that. We should have traded for him. Everybody kept on
Look,
saying, I'm
that,
like,
that's the theme of this show today. We gonna be talking about, man. We shouldn't have done this, man.
oh,
Because I got one.
no,
I feel the same way.
yeah, because that man got 18 sacks in what 11 games. Yeah, you could have took my 25 and 26 draft pick at this point, man.
Yeah, I feel you. I
Man,
feel you.
ridiculous.
I feel you.
But
Man,
yeah,
they just be sad.
tell you, man. But so we'll talk about we'll stay in this game essentially. So we talked about obviously their opponent was the Las Vegas Raiders. So with that being said, Chip Kelly was let go of his duties as the Las Vegas Raiders offensive coordinator. Um, Obviously, last year coming from Ohio State, he was the OC, the quarterbacks coach, Ohio State, who won the national championship last year. He comes to the Raiders, where pretty much he's pretty much dead last in just about every offensive category. Um, Obviously, they were 30th in total yards. They were tied for 31st in points per game and 31st in rush yards per game. Just to name a few, there's still some other statistical woes for this offense, but just to kind of give you a Clip Notes version of it. And with the Raiders at 2-9, they've let Chip Kelly go, which starts on Chip Kelly being bounced.
Um, Highest paid coordinator in the league. Um, from what I gather, it just seemed like whatever he's doing just doesn't do well in the NFL. But he's a great college coach. It just seemed like I have a question. Do you think there's a college that would want to sign him?
He could be an OC.
He could be an OC. You don't think it's no college that want to pay him to be
The coach.
a head coach?
I think I think he is one. Um, I mean, it'd be plenty of opportunities for him. I mean, so many
Oh,
different. It's so many different openings for sure. I
right.
mean, he'll interview for a couple of jobs. I think for sure.
Did Tech already get an offensive coordinator?
Um, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I know. I don't think he's finalized his staff quite yet.
You think he would go there? Especially with all that money they just said they put up for the athletic.
It could be a spot. I mean, because obviously, because they're not gonna really look at his NFL situation. They'll probably look at like what he did last year with Ohio State, especially you look at
Right.
like what he did with Will Howard. As far as that's
Hmm.
concerned. I mean, that could be a spot for him. Because I don't know who Franklin would probably get. I don't know if he would bring some of his Penn State guys over.
I just was thinking about that
Yeah,
today because the more I look, I feel like he got paid $6 million. It's not working out. You know what I mean? And this is first. Some people said that they felt like him and Pete Carroll just wasn't mashing, and I was like, well, I wonder if they let him go because there might be an opportunity for him in in a college field because it seemed like that's where he had his best success. You know what I mean? But like I said, he has a his NFL situation doesn't look good, but he still ended up being a head coach. He still into his college stats with UCLA and Oregon, especially with Oregon, 3 conference championships. I just feel like he and then like even when he was with the Eagles, he is the third in scoring and in yards per game. So it's still opportunity there for him. It just maybe him and Pete Carroll just didn't mash, and then like the offense just didn't pick onto it.
I
Um,
think it's also ego too. I
yeah,
think my
very
perspective
much so.
because like if you notice with Ashton Genty, he wanted to change his stance. And
Hmm.
it's kind of one of those where just let him be because I mean obviously when you have a running back you gotta let him have some some form of comfort.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I definitely going it's going to help him help actually Genty with the removal
Hmm.
of because you would assume this next person is going to allow him to do more.
Right.
So that's going to be the issue. So my thing with that he could do that in the college level because at least he's got some form of cachet versus here in the league. It's just like, look, no, we like you said, even what he did with the Eagles, but you know, even those move, even that situation kind of wore its course early. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
early, but it was one of those things where yeah, it was great in the beginning, but then it just went all downhill.
Right.
But yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip.
I mean, this is his first season. He had success with Ohio State, and then
Yeah.
they 2-9, and then Gentry. There was high expectations for him, and really that should have been a part of the story too, not just Shedeur, but how
Yep.
he's not up to standards. And then when I watched that game, there is opportunity there. But like I said, when I first got on this show with you at Legacy, I said, how are you gonna you draft these players, and why did you draft him if you didn't have a plan for him? Another, you know what I mean? Like I know he should be drafted early, but if you're
Yep.
not going to use what his weapons is so he can have some type of success, then what are you doing? You're getting paid millions of dollars to come up with something for success, to have an offense that's going to help this young prodigy running back. But clearly they 2-9, and you can say, okay, they 2-9, but man, Gentry, man, he's 100 all these yards a game, and all I'm hearing is negativity. Like he's not stepping up to what his potential is, and it's not really him. Like sometimes they always talk about the person that's the worker or the athlete, but what coaches or coordinators is putting these athletes in the right situation so they can be successful? You know what I
And he's
mean?
not. And he's not putting him in
It's not.
position. And that's the
Right.
problem. And
Right.
that's where I'm telling you. Do not be surprised in 2026. This man is like a 1,000-yard rusher, and he lead the league in
Right.
rushing next year. I'm telling you,
Right.
that's how it happens. And
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, growing up and realizing Shady McCoy, he know what he's talking about. I know people
Mm-hmm.
give him a lot of hell, but
Mm-hmm.
Shady, to his credit, he don't miss when it comes to like talking about coaches, and especially the whole Chip Kelly, him and Deshaun Jackson when they talked about it that time. That made me
Mm-hmm.
really look at him differently, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like and because he's stubborn, so it's like he's not. That's the issue, honestly. In the grand scheme of things, it's his stubbornness. Like, oh yeah, I talked about the stance and everything. He's just stubborn to a point where it's just like if you do something, like if I'm just giving you an example, you have a we all have our comfort creatures, comfort creature crunch. I mean, you know, we are a habit of our comfort. So we have
Mm-hmm.
our comforts that are habits that
Right.
So if there's a situation where you have a comfort, he wants to take away your comfort, and it's just like no, it's not what we're gonna do. Like
Right.
yeah, it may work for 18 and 20-year olds, but that's not gonna work in the pro. And it's
Right.
and it's in reared his ugly head, and he'll bounce back. I do think, like you said, I think if he doesn't land a coaching job, but a lot of it too, where I kind of want to kind of put him in that um coaching, not that coaching, but more so like the as far as OC versus like a head coach, because he'll have a head, if he wants a head coaching position, I definitely think there will be an opportunity for him. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
this, like you said, it is a perfect time for him to get fired because hey, these jobs gonna be coming up as early as Saturday. I mean,
Right.
as we have been told by the old Miss AD, like if some don't happen, no, some don't shake Saturday. You do you, but yeah, I think Tech could be an option for him, but but he'll have a lot of opportunities. Yeah.
Because they still got to pay him his contract, right?
Probably at this point, especially so late in the year, they probably
Right.
have to. He probably got something in his clause to say, hey, you know, but they could just pay him out. You know, they probably work out some type of deal or some type of
So
settlement.
did Pete Carroll? Did he pick Chip Kelly, or they they set that up?
I'm assuming he was a part of that he wanted him. I know this. I know. I think his son, Pete Carroll's son, is on the staff. I think he Yeah, I know he's on the offensive side of the ball. I know that for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would assume that you know, because I don't know. I would assume Pete would. I would assume because I don't think Pete Carroll would kind of go in a situation, not saying blindly, but kind of one of those where it's like, you know, especially if you look at like kind of the control that he had in Seattle,
Hmm.
you would definitely think, he was at least, an integral part of bringing Chip Kelly in. So I don't think that was something that was necessarily like forced on him. I think it's just
Hmm.
something, hey, because I, I'm assuming that because I know he's not the GM and the coach, like in previous, but it's one of those things where he has a pulse, you know, with the roster and all and personnel and everything. So, but
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't Pete Carroll supposed to be like an advisor for the team or something like that?
I think that's what they wanted him to do in Seattle.
Oh, and then
Because
then he
remember,
didn't want to do that no more. And then okay, my
yeah,
bad, I
and
got
then
it
that's when
mixed
he ended
up.
up getting a job. Yeah, because it was kind of odd because they got rid of him, and then they
Right,
were like, well, he's gonna be in another role, in which what he had because that was like 2 years ago.
right.
So yeah, he took really a year off and then came to Oakland. I mean, not Oakland, Las Vegas. Wow, really
So
dated myself when I called him Oakland.
I felt bad for Geno Smith because like he was getting beat up, but at the same time, it just looked like some of the receivers was like running the wrong routes or something, and then
Yeah,
like wasn't catching balls they supposed to catch, and like he just seemed Geno Smith seemed so stressed out in that game. Like, man, I'm just out here getting beat up, and I just nothing I could do. Like, it was times I'm like, Gino, throw the ball, just get rid of the ball, man, and sack, another sack. Like, you know what I mean? It
yeah,
was a trip, but it's just so weird. I know we have to move on. It's just weird watching these Raiders because like they still going through the same thing even before Gruden got there. You know what I mean?
and it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse, and it's I don't. I almost want to say it's really no excuse for it to be worse. Remember they couldn't find a quarterback. Remember, I think your homeboy, the Raider fan that you used to have on the show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he like even he said he was like, man, I was like, what made y'all get that quarterback? He was like, we really didn't have one in the market, and I'm like, what? Like but
Yeah,
hey, it's wild.
yep. But yeah, it's and it's funny because I feel like they got worse, and that's the crazy thing about it all is at least even with those Antonio Pierce teams, they fought. They were in games. They were kind of I want to say playing. They were playing. They would have been at least playing meaningful football at this point. So
Didn't they beat the Chiefs or something like that?
you talking about when Antonio Pierce?
Yeah, when he
Yeah,
was coaching.
yeah.
Did
On Christmas. What was it? Um, no, was it last?
I think it was last year.
Because it was the year.
I
It
think
was
it was last year.
2023. It was
Oh, 23?
2023.
For
Yeah,
real?
23. Yeah, because
Wow, these years going
because
fast.
because that was the year where everybody thought Kansas City was done because at that time because they had still won the division, but they didn't have the top seed. That's right, because they ended up having to go into uh they had to go to Buffalo and then um uh Baltimore for the AFC Championship and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. That's right.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so that was in 2023 because he had got fired mid season the next year,
So,
last season.
so it's
Because he had
23,
no, that's right.
24.
Yeah, that was 23, 24 when he would when they
Okay.
won on Christmas.
Right, I got
And
you.
then he got fired at the end of last year, 2024, 2020. Was it pretty much he got fired in January, matter of fact, this year.
And I'm gonna keep my it's wild.
But yeah. But yeah, man, Antonio Pierce, man. That was
Hey,
and that's weird because that was another team that I thought for sure was gonna do something. Not
right.
necessarily saying that they were gonna be a a contender and everything, but they were gonna be a team I thought, in my personal opinion, was gonna be at least contending for sure. Not contending,
Um,
but more so of being in that log jam.
right. I mean, me too. I will say this though. The Chip Kelly, happy birthday. Today is
I
birthday.
know, and that's something today his birthday, and that's something.
Right.
I looked at that, I was like, man, what kind of odd thing is that? Yo, 62nd birthday. That's crazy.
Right. That's
Wow.
crazy.
And he shared the same birthday as Joe Gibbs. Isn't that something that's weird?
A message.
I know, like two polar opposites.
Right.
And it's weird. But yeah, man. So we got an NBA topic. We haven't had, we don't really talk much about NBA as of late. I mean, obviously, you know, this time of year, it's just you know, the run of the season. But we're gonna talk about Chris Paul. Chris Paul announcing his retirement. Um, so I kind of run over some of his achievements in his 21 years in the NBA. 12-time All Star, a 2013 All Star MVP, four-time NBA First Team, 7-time All Defensive Team, a member of the NBA 75th Anniversary Squad, the Rookie of the Year in 2006, and he's a six-time steals leader. So what's your overall thoughts on the announcement and just your overall thoughts on the career of Chris Paul?
Great career, Hall of Fame career. It's one of those just didn't get a championship, and but hey man, great career. Highly respected, and you either like him or you didn't like him. Very knowledgeable. Some fun times, from when he played with the Pelicans, played with the Clippers. Um, my favorite, I mean, not the Pelicans, but there was the Hornets at the time, right? Then he
Yeah,
played
it
for the
was.
Hornets. He played for
He played, yeah, because he played for the Hornets. And they remember,
right,
remember because it's New Orleans. They remember after Katrina, they
right,
went to Oklahoma City for like a year. I think.
yeah.
I think.
So yeah, so his early career, I never was a big, I wasn't a big Chris Paul fan, but it seemed like when everybody probably liked him the most was when he played with the Clippers. I really liked Chris Paul when he was, and I'm not a James Harden fan either, but when he played for Houston, I just felt like it was about to be something real special. And I felt like they was going to beat the Warriors, and he slipped under the basket. I think we was on a road at the time, wasn't we?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he slipped under
2018.
the basket, and then I was just like, oh man. And then you were so knowledgeable. You was like, man, this always happens to him. And then to see the next year him and James Harden bump heads, I was just so shocked about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we gonna say the same thing about James Harden. We gonna say, man, he just didn't win it, but great career. I love what he did with Phoenix and Monty Williams and Booker and um, Bridges. Aiton, was it Cam Johnson?
Cam Johnson. Yeah, Cam Johnson.
You
Yep.
know,
It was.
that was a team that I'm so upset that they broke up. Felt that they was extremely scary. They probably just needed another big man or something like that. So there's been a lot of possibilities. It just didn't plan out. But at the same time, um, I think even he was the president of the Players Association too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just like it's a lot, man, and great career. It's gonna be sad to see him go, but once you look at his stats and and him being dealing with all his injuries, he could just bow out. And I'm hoping that we can get him to do some commentating because it'd be good to have a point guard that's knowledgeable like him being to speak or on the podcast theme or something like that. But hey man, congratulations, you had a phenomenal career.
Yeah. Obviously, with me, I mean, I'm not a big Chris Paul fan.
Me
Obviously,
neither.
like it always stems from the 2005 Wake Forest NC State. Um, a guy named Julius Hodge. Some of the things if you guys remember Julius Hodge. Probably one of the most prolific. He was a dog to me, Julius Hodge. And Chris Paul punched him in a region where you shouldn't be punched at. and I always looked at that, which is somebody couldn't respect him to do something like that. Because Chris Paul has done some dirty stuff in his NBA career, but I digress about that point. So it's one of the things where I just want to at least give you the transparency. I'm not gonna, I've talked about this often, so I don't want to come across as a hypocrite and be like, oh yeah, show him love and
Right.
this but deservedly so. He do this, it's a career which I think this one of the things where I wish he would have kind of announced it. He kind of announced it in the summer. I think a lot of people kind of didn't, because I know he had talked to Jamel Hill, and she had asked him as far as like how much he got left. He was like a year, so he pretty much kind of said it then, but just for him to officially announce it, because I definitely think he should. I'm not. He should be recognized, and I think you know that I know a lot of people be like maybe not like the Kobe farewell tour, but something similar to it. Like I still think, he don't necessarily have to get gifts from every city, but I definitely think he should be someone. Just for the simple fact he's played 21 years in the league. Like,
Mhm.
um, and like you said, either you love him or hate him, but
Mhm.
he is an integral part of the NBA in this 21st century. I mean, we
Mhm.
can't like lie about that. We can't like
Mhm.
can't ignore that. Like he is an integral part of the success of this league in this 21st century. And just the fact like run over those accolades, and he'll be someone in 2030 in September of 2030, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Like he'll be
Mhm.
enshrined in the Hall of Fame 4 years from the day he retired. So obviously that'd be in 2030. So it's just one of those things where yeah, and like you said, I think getting over that hump with Phoenix, and that's another team where that's where you look at it like kind of the biggest turning point for him because at that time he's kind of became that journeyman at that point. So obviously you talked about Houston circa 2018. Then he goes to OKC, almost kind of start, probably they were in a crossroads where that's when they kind of went rebuild mode, and when everybody in fifth grade was thinking they were gonna play for the Oklahoma City Thunder because they accumulated all these draft picks. Obviously, that's
Right.
when they still had Shea, and he helped develop Shea. Obviously, he came in that in that Paul George trade, so he came. He was there, so he helped kind of mold Shea. So that's another thing too on his credit as well. And now look at Shea, he's a league MVP. And he's probably going to be a perennial league MVP as his career progressed. And then, like you said, that Phoenix team where they were on the cusp of doing something, and he was like that piece that they needed. They needed that veteran leadership, and then they made it always to the NBA Finals, something that we didn't think Chris Paul would ever make it. And then obviously how it happened. Obviously, they was up 2-0, and then Milwaukee came back and won at six. So it's kind of one of the things where that's one thing too where he was at a point in his career where it was uncertain at that time.
Mhm.
Obviously, we figured the apex was going to be that 2018 season, going against an historic team like Golden State Warriors, who had a historic run at the time.
Mhm.
And we thought that was going to be the apex, but like you said, he did end up you know going to OKC, then end up going to Phoenix, and having them on the verge of winning the NBA championship. With this Phoenix team was probably one of the worst teams in the 2010s, the mid 2010s or so. As far as when he got there, obviously they like we talked about in the bubble, you start seeing promises then, and
Mhm.
then you bring in a Chris Paul that elevates a team that did make the playoffs. Now, did they make the playoffs in the bubble? I'm not 100%
No, they were
well,
they
they
were
were
trying to. They were
yeah,
trying to.
they're playing, but they ended up
Right.
losing, I think.
Right.
But they went from that to going to the NBA Finals the very next year. So it's just like
Right.
one of those things where, and obviously, and he was like, even in the beginning of his career, you think about like everything that happened and, with Katrina and, him being pretty much a part of that Pelicans. Well, they know the Pelicans then, but they were Hornets then.
Mhm.
And, them, going to Oklahoma City. for that time and all that. So it's and obviously the Clippers years because that's another team where Clippers really weren't doing much at that time when
Hmm.
he arrived. So he brought some excitement to that Clippers team. So
Hmm.
yeah, and he should, and I think as this year progressed, the NBA years progressed, I think he should get somewhat of what I call like a Kobe type treatment. Not necessarily saying like bring him a rocket chair in Milwaukee or bring him or give him a fruit
Hmm.
basket in Philadelphia. I mean, no, just give him a nice recognition. Hey, thank you for 21 years. When these last road trips, last places he's going to be going to, should at least give him a standing ovation. Like I said, don't, you ain't gotta break the bank and buy him a rocking chair or a recliner. You know, but show him some love.
Can I pick your brain for a minute?
Yeah.
When all that wasn't there some wild stuff dealing with the owner of the Phoenix Suns? Wasn't he there?
Yeah, but yeah, Robert Sir, yeah, yeah, and then obviously he was there then. He was with the Don Sterling stuff. So yeah, it's
Right.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I
And
mean,
I ain't look, but I wonder if OKC because there's something happened behind the scenes at OKC too. More what I'm saying is that's another thing with him. He's extremely controversial. So you could say about the referee that they point out
oh yeah,
picked
Scott
on him
Foster.
all the time. And even what's it's another thing that happened, and it's on the tip of my tongue, I can't remember. Oh,
Oh
when David Stern stopped the trade.
yes, and then remember Chris Paul he was ready to fight. Who was he about to fight?
Was it Rondo for spitting on him?
Oh, he did that too. Yep. So that's another one. And then remember he had fought. I don't know if him. It was yeah, because it was him and Austin Rivers. Remember they had got in the fight
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and because TNT. So shout out to Rose. So she reported that it was the fight was so contentious that the police had to be involved, and that's when Chuck and Charles like laughing in her mid segment, like, and here go Charles Barkley. I never heard somebody say a police. I ain't never heard a fight called a police. What? But yeah, a police presence. But yeah, but that and then obviously the whole situation with Donald Sterling, that situation, and then with their own because yeah, because matter of fact, Phoenix was on the verge of essentially like they were. I mean, it was bad. It was got to a point because nobody really came. You know, I mean, Phoenix was. I don't know how close it was, but I mean, I don't know if it's this close or that close. But they were on the verge of being relocated because this
Oh, I didn't know that.
Phoenix was yeah Phoenix was it was bad. It was bad. Like you think about like 2017, 18, or the mid late 2010s.
Right. So I say that to see that he plays for the Clippers now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some controversial stuff going on there, and when you sit there and look at it, like, okay, he a snitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, he because it's kind
allegedly,
of yeah, and it's kind of one of the things where is he at the wrong place at the wrong time, or is this kind of like because like I don't like the Phoenix situation. That stuff has happened way before CP got there.
right,
Donna Sterling, that stuff was happening way before Chris Paul was even born. Like
right.
he was doing this in the 50s and the 60s. Like, and all the different stuff that Donald Sterling was saying. But man, that dude's a trip, man. Donald Sterling is a piece of I gotta tell you, I tell you a Donald Sterling uh off off air soundbite. The dude is crazy. Dude is unhinged. Yeah.
But
So
extremely controversial though. Like, it's a lot of his name is tied into a lot of weird stuff, and like, I'm still trying to figure out why they stopped that trade to the Lakers.
well, I don't know. I mean, the person who vetoed it is not here
Yeah, Vita.
anymore. And
Right.
He's in. So it's something that you can speculate, but I guarantee you, the truth of it is he took to his grave.
He did what?
He took it to his grave.
Right.
David
It's
Stern.
just like asking Bill Belichick how come he didn't play such and such in the Super Bowl. Like,
Oh, Michael Butler. Yeah, that's still
yeah,
yeah.
like
I don't think he gonna take that to the grave. He probably done told Jordan it when they did pillow talk one night. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if this child have a book by the time she about 30. After she done doing them little pageants and stuff, she gonna write a book and she gonna tell it.
he gonna tell everything.
But let me make sure now. Let me be quiet about her because she about to sue Pablo Torre. I don't want to be on her list. Nope. No more Jordan Hudson talk. We're forbidden. We're forbidden. Yeah, because you sue me, ain't no Christmas.
Get you some now laters.
Right. We gonna have the dollar stuff. Dollar,
Make a
yeah.
mean pumpkin cheese cheesecake.
Some Ritz crackers. It's a fireballs. A little fireball candy. A little
Right.
5 cent candy.
Get you some fun dip.
But yeah, Bill trust me, Bill don't have no skeleton in his closet. He he done told them all. I'm
Yeah,
just
he done
waiting for
told
the
her.
book. He done told her, yeah.
Yeah, he done
I
told
know
her
he had
everything.
told her at one point, you know. But yeah, man. So we talked about like the holiday and everything, like as far as just the excitement of the holidays. But I don't know. Something about the NFL. The NFL did a phenomenal job for some bizarre reason. They found 4 great games on the docket for Thanksgiving Day and also Black Friday. So I know we say we would choose one, but since it's just because we was like we wanted to have all around. We had 4 games, 3 of us
Right.
talking. I'm gonna say pick two. And pick 2 of the matchups that you're looking forward to watching. Between Thursday and Friday.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's definitely not the Packers and the Lions. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm gonna go with this Chiefs and the Cowboys, and I think with the Cowboys and how they just beat the Eagles, I would want to see and the Chiefs not playing as well, but still figuring out a way to win. I think that's a game that we really should be paying attention to. Um, and the other one is the Bears versus the Eagles. You already know Eagles, the champions, one of the top teams in the league, and then you got the Bears. What they won 4 or 5 games in a row. Excuse me, and they one of the top teams in the league right now. So and in the NFC, so that's a game that's definitely got to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think obviously the beginning, the kickoff of it, Green Bay and Detroit. This is critical. Like it is kind of one of those games where the winner of this, could it could essentially um could be that wild card spot because if the season ended today, the Detroit Lions wouldn't even be in the playoffs. This is a must win for them because now
Hmm.
you think to yourself, you don't want to get swept by this Green Bay Packer team because that's gonna bite you, in the
Right,
end. And obviously, the way the Bears are playing, they're another team where is it a fluke? Not necessarily. They've won games, close margins, but they also won some games even in spite of some bad play, but they're still able to get it done.
right,
And that's another thing where this is it's kind of one of the things where it might be 2 seats in this division for them to be in the playoffs. Obviously, you had a divisional winner and a wild card, and somebody's going to be like, as far as we talk about musical chairs, somebody's going to be at the end of end of the track.
hmm,
It's going to be seatless, and I think whoever this Green Bay Detroit winner might have a seat at the end of the song, and then the one that
right.
loses the game is their butt gonna be on the floor because they ain't got no seat. and make the
Right.
playoffs. So I look at it from that. Um, like you said, Kansas City and Dallas. That's another interesting one. That's a must win for either one, even though it's AFC versus NFC type of matchup. But both of them on Sunday had season defining wins, like almost season saving wins. Like Dallas, that win over Philly is huge. That pretty much put them back in put them in contention for the NFC East title. That put them within striking distance that they have an opportunity. And now at 5-5-1, they're in a perfect spot. Kansas City, on the other hand, is a little different. It's like they gotta win, like because they're at 5-5, so it's like they're fighting for their lives. They're really like to a point where they're gasping at this point because obviously you're looking at like what Denver's doing. Obviously they was able to get that win against them. So you look at them getting themselves back into to the frame, and um, they got to get that game. Obviously, I think Cincinnati and Baltimore is gonna be good because obviously now Joe Burrow comes back.
Hmm.
That's gonna be interesting. And quiet is kept. This is literally Cincinnati is on their last leg. I don't even say leg. I don't even say foot. They're on their last toenail. Like they gotta win this game because if you think about it, Baltimore leads at 6-5. Y'all are 6-5. They only 3 out with 6 left, and it's kind of one of those where now you're bringing in a Joe Burrow, which the defense he's not gonna help them defensively, but if he can get kind of hot, and I think they did a great job with not letting him play on Sunday, but letting him play Thursday, then he'll get 10 days off, um, 10 days off, and then and play another game. So if if Cincinnati can win this game, their playoff hopes are still there because obviously Baltimore would be 6-6. They would only essentially be 2 out at 4-8. They still legitimately have a chance, but they would pretty much have to win out. But for the sake of week 13, their playoff aspiration is still alive, but it's hanging by a thread, a singular thread. So yeah, and then the Bears and the Bears and the Eagles, man, that's gonna be a good game. Like that's gonna be another one where they're really kind of chasing the Rams because Rams are what 9-2, so
Right.
they're a team that essentially have to well basically they're trying to contend to get that higher seed, trying to be in a contention to get the higher seed because I know like
Right.
you know, because you want to have at least that bye week, or you want to at least have a home game. So that's gonna be big. And like you said, obviously the Bears coming off of a good win. We don't know who the team they played, but we'll talk about it. We ain't worry about that. But the Eagles coming off of a loss to the Cowboys, and their contention, their situation is starting to still exists. Their AJ Brown problem still exists, and it's kind of a little bit more profound now, obviously with the loss. So it's kind of one of the things where that situation I think is going to be beyond repair.
Right.
Yeah, but it's going to be some good
Yeah.
games. The NFL got it right this time.
Yeah, they did. I
Oh,
really couldn't pick a game, but
I know.
I was gonna say all of them.
Yeah, and all of them got playoff implications, and that's the crazy thing about all this playoff implications, like crazy.
Right.
All of them. It means
All
something.
of them.
All of
Right.
them. Like, and it's just a great stretch to kind of get you into December with the home stretch of the season. And it is crazy. Crazy.
Yep.
Man. Yeah.
What you say? You gonna be in pajamas watching everyone
Uh, the Friday game. Yeah, Friday.
Friday
Yeah,
game?
Friday could be the one where we ain't nobody leaving the house. Everybody chilling. Friday. Yeah, Friday is probably the laziest day between. Yeah, it's the laziest day. At least you got an excuse. You're like, all right, I ain't gonna do nothing today.
So you wasn't back in the day. You wasn't the one getting up, going out there for Black Friday.
No, I know. I did that. I did it a few times. Obviously, obviously my time being in retail,
Right.
but like, um, other than that, no. Like, I mean, ever since I've kind of been out of retail, what the last like 7 years, no, you ain't
I
catching
feel
me
you.
out nowhere. I'm chilling.
I feel you.
And now, but back, I think I might have did that like when I was like in high school one year, maybe
Hmm.
to get some Jordans or something. But most of that stuff, and a lot now has changed. Obviously now with the advent of the internet, and now people have sales early. Like, there ain't really no need to be out there, how it is now, because it's just like most places got sales. Like Amazon had a sale last week, almost a week ago.
Yeah, man. And I don't like how they got you where you can't even just like if you go to Wall World, you can't even just go to your aisle. You got to go through this maze. I was like, oh, they wilding.
Yeah, and it's just and
They're
it's and then
wilding.
you been around all the people, and it's just nah, man. And then you had people out here like sitting and waiting and waiting to go to Best Buy. All these different stores, they open up at 6 and you out there at like 12 o'clock. I'm like, nah. Ain't nothing worth for you going out there in the cold, sitting out in the cold for something. No.
Man, I seen something. This is random. I seen something I hadn't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
remember when um remember when you used to go to the toy store and
Hmm.
then the kid didn't want to leave and they'd be crying like it's the end of the world? I
Yeah.
hadn't seen that in a long time, and I was like, wow. This kid was getting dragged out like it was like he was leaving KB toy stores or something. Anyway,
Yeah, them days over with. Like that's
them
one
days
thing.
is
Like,
over with.
yeah, because it's not even worth it. Because the crazy thing about it is you'll be fighting with people, and it's just like, what's the point? And then the crazy thing about it, you go in the stores, they only got like five things, five people, five items. So you
Right.
got the whole town sitting outside and knowing they only got like five. It's like, nah, because you think about it, you gonna be so pissed off. Just imagine you being there at midnight, store open up at 6, and it's on like 5 you, the 6 person in line. Yes, I'm leaving here with something.
I remember early 2000s, right after dinner, all the women be in the other room, have all the newspapers. I'm gonna go hit Best Buy. I'm gonna go buy here. I'm gonna go buy there. I remember them days. I'll be like, y'all want some cocoa? 'Cause I ain't going. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
How about now? How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, good.
You
Okay,
good?
but yeah, that's the thing, man. It's just like ain't no need for it at this point because, like you said, I'm
Right.
that 6 person. I'm I'm on the 10 o'clock news. Nah, ain't nobody. It ain't even worth it. It's not worth it. Just imagine
Man,
all
days
that
over
time
with.
you missing with your peoples, and you over here in line, and they know they ain't got enough for you. They're gonna make you sit out there and wait in the cold. Nah. Mm.
Trust me. I used to say, hey, I used to text, hey, y'all want me to bring y'all some cocoa? Like 2 in the morning. I'll be like, y'all want me to bring y'all some hot chocolate?
Man,
I ain't standing out there.
I'm like, yeah. How like, yeah, man, get a gun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Forget the donuts and the cocoa. Bring a gun. I want to go off of here. Right.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't play that around here. We get to fight. And I'm not even a valid person, but those type of situations could bring the balance out of people. And it's that worth it.
At all.
Thank goodness for the internet. So I appreciate you, Al, going for the internet for sure. So, yeah. But yeah, because nah. If I can't get online, you know, it ain't even worth it. At least
Nope.
come to my house in a few days, and that's it. I don't need all that drama. Oh,
Did you ever see anybody fight and do anything crazy while they were out there, or just overly aggressive?
overly aggressive. I get obviously overly aggressive, and then obviously in my experience in retail, I used to get a lot of it because back then, like you said, because I was in it in the early 2000s, like
Right.
2002. Like
Right.
really, really, when people they open up at 6, and it's just like I remember one time, I think we had like a PlayStation on sale, and like this woman cursed me out. I'm like, dude, I'm 18 years old. Like I'm a baby. Like, look, I just started this job like a month ago. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, mom, I'm a child. Like, yo, what the hell? Like,
Oh my
oh
god.
yeah, then people, oh gosh, yeah, they would curse us out. Well, I'll be like, I mean, and what am I supposed to do? I'm like, that's all we had. That's all we
Man,
had. I mean,
you know how lucky we are to be like where we live at now. What if we lived in New York and how they shop and all that craziness up there? You know how they stereotypical try to make how that stuff look. Wow,
mhm.
everybody going to, I bet you that's wild.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine like going like to Macy's or being somewhere like that, or
Right.
somewhere like that, and just like those apartment stores. Yeah, it would be hell. It would literally be hell because people. That's what I'm saying. Like people, they were even like cursing me out. I'm like, man, I just started here. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't like I'm just a kid. Oh man, like
He said, I just started here. I don't know what's going on.
I know because I didn't. Because I think when I was just so green and just like I didn't think it was really that big of a deal. Like people actually got up early to go into a drugstore to get a PlayStation. Now, mind you, this is the PlayStation 2 was already out. It was the OG PlayStation.
I got you. I got you.
So one of the PlayStation now the PlayStation 2 is a little bit different because I had a PlayStation 2, but this is the OG, the first one. And so that PlayStation probably was at least about 5 or 6 years old.
Hmm.
And people going crazy for it. And then it's just like, yeah, they like, well, you need to call this place. They wanted me to call all these different stores. I'm like, do you see like how many people in here? Like, I mean,
Oh my God.
it's kind of it got a little chaotic. And I'm just like, yo, like,
Hey, I just started here. I don't know.
I'm right. I only been there for like a month at a time. I'm like,
Man, I
I'm
can see
not,
your face. Oh my God, that's hilarious. And you got
yeah.
like my daughter, like she's working at a like busy restaurant tomorrow. I'm gonna have to let her know ahead. It's probably going to be busy.
Oh yeah,
I'm
ain't
just probably
nobody
going to be busy. So just put on your armor and everything. And they're gonna be a little rude because they shopping and doing all this other stuff. So just put the smile on and kill them with kindness as much as you can.
But the good thing about it is, if you're working this weekend, you good because everybody gonna be just in leftovers. But yeah, because everybody, that's weird because like tomorrow is usually the day where everybody wants to do things and be out and about and and do certain things. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, but close that laptop at 5. Watch some college basketball. Lay on the sofa, the L shape. Be sleep. Be knocked out even the next morning.
Right.
Or watching some of that college basketball. Nah, we chilling.
It's like, what you telling me
Like,
for? I just started
I,
here. I don't know. It's so funny. That I know that's what you said to her too. Like,
I'm like, yeah. Because I just I didn't understand why everybody's freaking out over how old. That's like if we had an Xbox, the X, just the regular Xbox. Now you got an Xbox Series X. I'm like, man, that's old. Like, yeah, the PlayStation when I was in middle school and I'm an adult. I'm 8 years
right.
old.
It's like at the grocery store, somebody come, hey man, y'all know what shallots is or something like weird. Like you be like, what?
Huh? Come again?
I don't know. Breadcrumbs and be, you just got it's try to do so much at this time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And that's one thing too, and that's one thing with those type of experiences. It just made you really realize, hey, it's just a time to just relax. Like, don't get yourself caught up in some stuff because, like, being rude to people and being,
Hmm.
just being nasty to people. That's just not a good thing to do. You got to understand, like, these people are missing opportunities to be with their families and stuff, and you treating them like crap. Man, have some decency. Have some decency. And like you said, just relax, man. It's not even like don't stress yourself over the holidays. Like this is supposed to be a time for you to have fun. Cause already know how holidays can be. So don't add extra to your plate. Like you already know
Right.
this could be a stressful time. It could be an emotional time. Just, you know, don't get caught up in all the hype and all that type of stuff. Just enjoy it. That's why that's
Right.
one thing I say. That's why I've learned a lot from it. Where it's just like ain't no need to stress it. If they ain't got it, they ain't got it. Yeah, if I want to go to another store, I could do it, or I could just do it online or whatever. I will
Right.
find a way. If I really want something, I just go and get it. If it don't, it's not the end
Yep.
of the world.
Right.
It's all like we talked about it in the opening. Like it's just an opportunity for all of us to hang out with our friends and family, the people that we love, because we all have the same day that we're off. So it's
Right.
one of us where all our schedules in the sense can lend it to us all hanging together all at once. So yeah, just to me, like I said, enjoy it, enjoy the time. Like we talked about it, we got so many games on the slate. We even got a Black Friday game, and now with Amazon, we got NBA basketball after the game. I'm like, man, I'm definitely ain't wearing. I'm keeping on the pajamas from Thursday night to Saturday morning. And we got NBA Cup games too. So we got that. We got Taylor Brooks after the football. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be glue me to the sofa. Glue me to the recliner. Glue
Right.
me to the recliner. Just bring me some water every 3 to 6 hours. You know, straight up. So,
Crazy.
hey man, be like that. So, uh, we did this exercise maybe like I want to say in two. I guess I obviously had to be in 2017. Yeah, so well we had and I always thought this was kind of fun as far as
Hmm.
who would be our three athletes, and we did want to do like dead or alive because we always like that type of kind of it kind of broadens um who we invite. So
Right.
who would be your three athletes you would invite to Thanksgiving dinner? What you got?
I
Who you think?
actually asked my boss too. He's a big sports guy. I call him Obi-Wan, but his name is Jason Coleman. And he said Grant Hill, Dan Marino, and Coach K. Clearly you could tell he a Dookie. But I just thought that was really I thought those was
Yeah.
good guy, good, really
Mhm.
good guy athletes that he came up with. So for me, I picked Floyd Mayweather,
Okay.
I picked Dwayne Johnson, and I picked Julius Irving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to know the reason why?
I
Would you
mean, you
like to know
can.
the
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
real
for sure.
quick. I felt like Floyd Mayweather was a prodigy. Everybody in his family was top 10, even a champion. And so there's a lot of expectations for him, and they didn't. They had a ceiling, and he surpassed that. And he took boxing to a level where it ended up being a lot of money in boxing. Dwayne Johnson has probably one of the most remarkable lives ever, based upon his grandfather starting the first wrestling foundation in Hawaii for Polynesians, and then being a stuntman for and choreographer for 007, and then him becoming The Rock, and then eventually becoming the actor Dwayne Johnson, and being such a powerhouse in Hollywood, also playing for Miami University and things of that nature. And then, of course, Julius Erving, the Dr. J. This NBA that we have now came from the ABA. And if you ever look at your history, one of the reasons they bought the ABA because of a guy by the name of Julius Erving, who actually, I love talking to the old heads in the Richmond area, because they always talk about when he played, what was it? I
Squires.
forgot the team. What they
Yeah,
call it?
Squires.
Say again?
The Squires.
Yeah, the Squires, yeah, in Richmond,
Yeah.
like the black
Mm-hmm.
and white, man, they have great
Yeah.
stories about them playing. So I think, I know LeBron is about to have this interview with Michael Jordan. I would love for all three of them to be in the same room to have those conversations. That would be crazy. But I'm so excited to see what I'm very interested to see what your three is going to be.
Yeah, and like, and to your boss, when because I've always liked Grant Hill. It's weird, like I looked at Grant Hill as almost like a role model when I was growing up.
Right.
Like I always looked at him as someone like, man, like he's, even to this day, I'm like, I've always liked Grant Hill. He's always he's
Yeah.
classy. To someone that's just someone that people can look up to, and like he's like the
Hmm.
age's wonder. He's getting it kind of showing his age a little bit now, but there was a time where I didn't think he would ever age. He's aging a little
Uh,
bit, but he's still, for his age, he still is
right.
ageless. Like, I mean, he's still, but at 50-something-year-old man, he looks still young.
and
But
and to
yeah,
to see if you and to see he quietly is a just great, from being part owner of the Hawks, the things he's doing with the Olympics. He a homeboy, from up there near Fort
rest,
Belvoir. You know what I'm saying?
rest,
So, like you right, man. Like, it's really, he really is one of those ones. They talk about him as his play, but he has a lot more, because he's still with the same woman and everything. It was no negativity or anything thrown out, except for his injuries.
yeah. And is able to overcome those. And like you said, came from a great family. Obviously, his
Hmm.
father, Calvin Hill, the running back, used to play for Washington. I think that's probably when
Hmm.
when Brett was born. Probably he was with the Redskins at the time, and also with the Cowboys. And then
Hmm.
his late mother, she was roommates with Hillary Clinton, where at the time Hillary
Right.
Rodham. So yeah,
Hmm.
he came from a great family, and like you said, been married to Tamia forever. They got
Hmm. I ain't mad
kids.
at
I
him.
think one of the I think his daughter go to Florida. I think she plays volleyball or something like that. So yeah,
Hmm.
he said just like family, a family man. And it was funny because I think when they forget who when he was that recruiting of him in 2020 2000 in 2000. And somebody, I forgot who it was, because he had mentioned it. He was like, "Yeah, you go to New York, and yeah, you got all these girls." He's like, "Well," and he was saying Tamir was in there as well with him when the guy was telling him about the woman. He was looking like,
He's-
so it was funny, like, I forgot who did he say? I forgot who it was that was trying
what?
to recruit him to the Knicks, and then he was like, now, it have all these women, and he's like, well, I don't know why he said that. And Tamir was there. My wife at the time, my wife. I'm like, why? But yeah, but Grant Hill, man, Grant Hill is a phenomenal choice.
Hmm.
And Coach K too, with all those lessons that he having, obviously like Dan Marino as well too. Yes, I think mine. I'm gonna actually start with one that's living. So I got two that have
Right.
is no longer on this earth. I'm gonna go with Fred Smoot, because I gotta have someone that makes me laugh and have great stories. Fred Smoot is the used to be the cornerback of the used to be with us with the Washington Commander with the Redskins at the time.
Mhm.
Actually met Fred Smoot, so he's a real cool guy. Um, also, and he does some stuff for the Commanders now on the media team. He always has some great stories, and he's really entertaining. Like Fred Smoot is somebody that he will have you laughing the whole entire time. He's on a podcast with my guy Michael Jenkins. They call him Jinx. And when remember Michael Jackson had a monkey called Bubbles.
Mhm.
I'm a Bubbles. Bubbles. So
Mhm.
Bubbles last year, I think last year or 2023, he turned 40. And Fred Smoot just went on this diatribe for like about like 20 minutes about Bubbles, wondering where Bubbles was at, and it was so hilarious. Like if I could ever find an episode of him talking about Bubbles, man, I think I was somewhere, and I was like, man, I gotta leave this place. I'm gonna be they gonna kick me out because I'm laughing so hard. It was that funny. So he's really really entertaining.
Okay.
Um, my second person is gonna be Bill Russell. I think Bill
Oh.
Russell is someone that, in my personal opinion, will be a great storyteller. Like he'd be someone that would tell you about, you know, so many different eras in the league. Even you talk about the league, when he was dominating. Obviously, when he was coaching in the '80s and stuff and all that, and it's just some present stuff. And then, and just talk about like his role in like the civil rights movement, and like
Mhm.
he was a part of a lot of stuff. I mean, he really, as far as when it comes to like, and then just how those stories of him being in Boston, and especially at the time, it's already kind of crazy to think of how I think about certain athletes in Boston now, but just
Mhm.
imagine when Bill Russell was there in the '60s,
Yes,
and
I'm with you.
so it's he would have some stories. So you want to have someone to make you laugh. You want to have some storytelling as well. You want to at least kind of mix it up. And then my last one is in a weird way, it's gonna Cedric Benson. He used to be the former running back with the with University of Texas. He ended up being a first round pick of the Chicago Bears in the 2005 NFL draft. He was someone. It was weird because now and I'm dating myself. Obviously, before we had like social media, you would only really hear about guys either they had a story about them or you read it in a newspaper or a publication. I know that really showing that I'm an old man at this point. But so they did a feature on Cedric Benson, and it was funny because like all the stuff that he liked is stuff that I liked, and obviously he was a year older than me, so he was
Mhm.
it was yes, he's a year older than me. So it was like all the stuff when it came like certain type of music, type of styles. At the time he had dreadlocks. I had just started growing my locks at the time. So it was kind of cool. Like I was like, man, that seemed like somebody I would really identify with. Like he's like cool. Like 'cause I don't know if you remember them plaid shorts. Remember, um, it's funny how because I think when he did the interview, he wore like this, like a we remember we used to wear them tall tees. You
Mhm.
might have a 2X body, but you wore like a 4X or a 5X. Like
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
tall, even like me, I'm 5'9". Why am I wearing a tall tee? And
Right.
and most shirts I wear at the time was extra large or a 2X. Why am I wearing a 4X tee? And then and then obviously the shorts. Remember the plaid shorts, and it's just all different colors and stuff. And it's just like, and he was wearing. I was like, man. And then I had the dress too, and I was like, yeah. So it was somebody. It was someone that I really identified with early on. Like as far as somebody like, man, that dude's really we're like similar. Like we can literally
Right.
be. It's almost like he would be like I would say like a cousin in a sense. Like as far as like almost like a Craig and Day type of situation where it's like,
Right.
man, yeah, I know we would probably if I would have been able to met him at it would be like, oh man, we'd been real cool because a lot of it,
Mhm.
it's not because I know not a lot of people probably would call it like kind of parasocial in a sense.
Mhm.
But more so, but it's a little bit different because back then you really didn't know much about people compared to now, where obviously with social media, you didn't have where they had an Instagram page or they had this, so like you only really seen what you saw on television or what you read, and obviously
Right.
so you get that one clip, you're like, oh man, I can really identify with that person, so. Yeah. So yeah, that
That's
would
what's
be my
up.
three. Yeah, it'd be fun. It's always because you always want to have a nice mixture of people and different types of personalities. So I definitely think they
Right.
would provide uh, provide some stuff. Obviously, you got the funny, the great storytelling, and then I guess somebody that be the similar to me. So it's like one of the things where I look at it from that perspective. So yeah,
Word. I'm with you, man. That's what's up. Like I just picked like especially like Floyd. Well, all three of them, but I think
yeah,
Floyd and Dwayne Johnson. I think when people they get interviewed, people don't ask the right questions.
yeah,
Like Floyd, they took the gold medal from him and he got the bronze and he cried on national TV. Like I would love to, ask those questions. And even with Dwayne, like how did it feel losing your positions in Miami? And they wasn't even going, they was offered him a coaching job. You know what I mean? And just
yeah,
ask certain questions based upon the decisions he made, even like realizing things about his dad because his dad was his hero, just certain
yeah.
things. And how does it feel having those pressures where you had to take the lead of the family, just things like that.
Yeah, they have gone, and it's funny. Like they're another examples of people look at them on the surface that they're successful, but they
Right.
have gone through some stuff to get to
Yeah.
that level. Like this is like that's one thing too. Where I think because we live in such a society where we see people win,
Right.
and now like it was a great quote I heard a few days ago. Like the people that you admire went through a season that you would never know about. And I
Right.
thought that was so powerful, and that's another one where with that one where that's like with Floyd, like you would never think like like you said, you had to be of a certain age to remember the United States Olympics in Atlanta to remember that, and it's so crazy to think that was 30, almost 30 years ago, maybe 30 years in
Hmm.
August. It's crazy,
Hmm.
drives me crazy. Like I was because you're like, yo, it's like I was living life like 30 years ago, like for real, like so it's kind of like "Ooh, this is kind of spooky." But yeah, and then like the rock situation, like in Miami, and then the whole story, and and I'd be curious to ask him his relationship with Warren Sapp because for
Yeah.
some
Like,
odd reason, that's like I don't know, some 'cause I like Warren, but sometimes Warren kind of come off as like a hater.
yeah.
And it's like, and I don't, I, because the way he, talked about Dwayne Johnson, I'm just like, like it was
It's
all made up, and I'm like, well, no, I don't necessarily think his story is made up.
I think it's because he know he was the top. Dwayne was here and he was the top dog. You know what I mean? So he always
Yeah,
like little big brother, the little brother. Like, man, he the bench. I'm starter. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who older,
yeah,
but that's what I take from it. You know what I mean?
because because I know he when he had talked about the story, and he was like, well, that's a little fabrication. He like, because he called him Dewey. He was like, yeah, man, Dewey. I didn't take Dewey's job. I'm like, I mean, he necessarily didn't say that. He just said that he was behind you. He didn't.
Hmm.
I don't think he said that
That's
he took your job. No, he
right,
said he was behind you
right,
from my recollection. So
right.
I don't think if what I'm saying, if I was fabricated, I'd have been like, yeah, you know, I got hurt, and then Warren came, and that's why he became this.
You,
We can fabricate all
right.
day, yeah,
A
but
lot of that
yeah,
stuff come from he from Florida, and then you know Dwayne was from like Pennsylvania and he was Polynesian. You know what I'm saying? They act a certain way. We know what it is. You know what I mean? Most of
mhm,
the people that are, I guess you could say, Samoan or Polynesian, they act a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
sure.
they down there in Florida. Trust me, I know he wasn't acting like no Florida boy. You know what I mean?
Oh
They,
no,
they and no disrespect, they different though. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I just found it so weird, like just as far as just the simple fact of that. My thing is like, what's the point of it? Like, what was the point of just the discourse back? I put it, and that's the thing where it's just like, just let that man live. You know?
That's why I would love to interview him because he's a petty dude. He could be silly, and we all know he could talk and he can joan or make fun of somebody or whatever. but he don't really say too many things negative about people unless he doing it in an entertaining way or something like that. They always got something to say about it. I don't even know. It's so weird about the people from like 97 to like 2007, like those years when everybody gets treated some type of way. You know, it's so strange, man. Like it's you know they great, but you just I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyway, and then like I said, in like Floyd, it's a lot there with Floyd. You know what I mean? Because his heroes, watching them fall, like watching his uncle, then watching his dad go to jail, watching his other uncle be a top 10 fighter, then having to take the baton at a young age and be trained by Sweet Pea and all these to go to these different gyms to take all this knowledge, then get trained by this guy from the Olympics that was teaching him about assets and you know what I mean? Then going to meeting this guy who was a promoter, a concert promoter in Al Heyman, and becoming and then taking boxing to a whole nother level. But anyway, I love that, man. Like it was great though. I love when
Yeah,
you do that one.
yeah, because he was, yeah, he had, and all these things, but it's like, you know,
I can't hear you.
but yeah, we all have, that's the thing about it, we all have stories. But yeah, it's one of those things where you hear me now.
I can hear you, but it ain't as loud. But
Oh, now, louder now,
you low. You're real low.
real low. Okay.
Now you fast. Now you get your voice is real high. I I can't wait for you to watch this episode.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to do this mixing thing.
Yeah.
Make this
You're going to love this episode.
and I'm gonna see the tour and have the tour with both me. Got it
Okay.
right. How about now?
Mm-mm. Just a little bit, but not really.
How about now?
It's still going down.
How about now?
I can hear you, but it almost sounds like it's like a short or something.
Oh, okay, train. All right. How about now?
I can hear you, but it's you're gonna see.
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid to miss it. I can hear it.
Yeah, you just sound like Alvin the Chipmunk. For real, you're gonna love this episode.
I hate it, but I need it. But can you hear me now?
No, you sound just like Alvin the Chipmunk. For real. I can hear you though, but
Nice. All right. How about now?
there you go.
Okay. That's
Like
weird.
you literally sound like yourself. You have not sounded like yourself the whole show.
That's weird though. That's
That's
kind of
crazy.
weird.
It's a classic. What number is this? 373. Oh, this is a classic. This is a classic one right here.
The worst audio known to man, which is weird because I just been like tweaking with some stuff, and it's crazy because I just got this Friday and I've been toying with it since Friday, so it's kind of one of those things where it's still trying to find the perfect blend,
Right.
and it's
It's all good. I can't wait for you to
it's
watch the
but
show though.
oh, that is so strange though.
Right.
But yeah, but that's the thing with Floyd. He's gone through a lot. Like you said, he would definitely be someone that give a lot of stories. You know, give you some
Hmm.
money. He always keep some money in his back. Good choice. We'll have a good Christmas.
We probably
Yeah,
have such a great conversation. He'd be like, "Sean, come on, let me take you shopping."
exactly.
I'm like, "Hey man, I ain't really. Oh, I did want some New Balance."
Right. True. All right. Yeah, right. I mean, I'd be like the little IG models, like having little stories and being like Gucci. Be like, yeah, he'll be like IG model. And it would be, then I'll be at the store. He'll be thinking I'm a little IG model. I'm like, no face, no case. Like, nah. Be at the Louis store, like, yeah, I got some luggage. Like, I got the timepiece on my hand.
Right.
We have all different kinds of statuses. Like, yeah, watch me. Don't like watch me. And then be on a private jet, be like, yeah, I
I'll be
catch
over there.
I catch flights, not billings.
Sean, you sleepy? Yeah, I'll be out there comfortable.
Right. Be like, yeah, I'm PJ life.
Crazy.
Yo, they gonna be like, yo, that'd be wild. But yeah, like that's my life down there. Yeah, yeah. Come
Okay.
right. Gather my
Okay,
thoughts.
here we go.
But yeah, man. So we'll put a ball on tonight's show. We'll do our game ball and final thoughts. Who gets this week game ball for you?
So a little bit earlier, you was talking about you would have traded to get Miles Garrett, right? I'm upset that we traded GP. Joe
Oh man,
Pickens is balling. I
man.
told I didn't. I used to watch Colorado and saw Travis Hunter. I told my dad I have never seen a player like that. And then I look with my Steelers, and in 2022 we got this guy from Georgia, and I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, he's tall, he's slender, he's fast, and they said he was a hothead. I mean, my issue with the Steelers, man, is like, what is the problem with how y'all treat y'all receivers? Even it's just anyway. I'm giving my game ball to Cowboys ex Steeler George Pickens against the Eagles. He got 9 receptions uh, for 146 yards and 1 TD. Um, as of right now, he's got 67 receptions with 1,054 yards and 8 TDs. I really, if they smart, trade CD and because y'all finally got a true weapon, y'all can find a low budget CD Lamb. That's what I think. But George Pickens got my game ball and he clearly deserves it.
Yeah, GP he balled out, and that's the thing where it's like once again, it's the classic curse of the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you get rid of guys, and it's just like they go somewhere else, and it's just like, but, yeah. But gotta give my game ball to Maryland quarterback Christian Martin. Christian Martin is he's from this area. He's a former Highland Springs High School standout.
Sheesh.
So it's only two guys that have won the Richmond Town Dispatch Player of the Year twice. Russell Wilson and also Christian Martin that hails out of Highland Springs High School. Had his first touchdown pass this week against Michigan. So definitely shout out to Christian Martin and doing his thing. And, shout out to the Turk. Man. I like turtles. So, well, final thoughts before we head on out this week.
Man, great show. Everybody have a great Turkey Day. Also, be careful. While you're out there driving, pay attention to one another, share the road. This morning, I saw 2 horrible accidents. One was going on 95 and the other one was on 295. So just be mindful of each other, man. Like these holidays is for everybody to be together, not be apart.
Yeah, man. once again, another great show. Like I said, I don't think I want to listen to the playback of this.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, so I know. We get ready,
Excuse me.
I'll definitely tweak the sound of this. Make sure everything is good for next week. It's not awesome, but here, but it's the Disney World version of Couch Goes Live this week.
It's never a dull moment in the CCL multiverse.
Yes, indeed. So we'll get that tweaked out, and
Mhm.
and it just shows my different voice, my different levels of voice, and my talent.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, man. So this, like you said, enjoy the holiday. And, have fun with it. Be responsible. And, just like I said, it's time to be with your family. Do the best you can to be with your family as safe as you can, the best way you can. And this wraps up this week's Couch Coach Live, man. We'll catch you guys next week. And we're out.
You're welcome.